September, Friday of 1998, it was a pretty cloudy day in Arkansas. The 19-year-old pregnant Samantha Hopper finished her work at the Waffle House. After work, she took her daughters, Desiree Hopper and Courtney, with her. Courtney occupied the back seat of the brand new blue Ford Tempo, without knowing that she was enjoying her final ride. Desiree never expected that travel would turn into a haunting memory. Samantha dropped her elder daughter Desiree at her mother Debbie Mahan's place. She also informed Debbie that she would be dropping Courtney in Russellville before attending a concert in the city of Little Rock with her friend. But they were destined elsewhere. That car ride would be their last. Her blue Ford Tempo vanished without any trace, and it was never located. Samantha's surviving daughter, Desiree Hopper, has spent decades trying to find out what happened to her mother, sister, and the unborn child. Her questions remained unanswered until she sought help from Adventures with Purpose and Chaos Divers. So what happened to Courtney, Samantha, and her unborn? Was it an accident or something more sinister like murder? And today we are looking at the 20-year-old cold case solved by AWP and Chaos Divers. Unwind and watch the mystery unravel. Let's walk on the edge of the mystery without any further ado. Russellville. Russellville in Pope County is one of Arkansas's most lovely places to stay. The country's only bayou, Illinois Bayou, spotlights the county's scenic beauty with Class 2 and 3 whitewater. The Illinois Bayou is 4 streams that run from Lake Dardanelle's backwaters to the Ozarks headwaters. Russellville is also recognized for its live music, art culture, and historic downtown area. The Art Walk is the most well-known among these activities. In addition, its residents enjoy a relaxed suburban vibe. Samantha Hopper. It is here that we meet our 19-year-old Samantha Hopper, who lived a happy life with her husband, Richard Carpenter Jr. She was happy. Her daughters, Desiree Hopper and Courtney Esther Danielle Holt, were both born in 1995 and 1996, respectively. Samantha was pregnant at the time and she was taken care of well by her mother. It was September 12, 1998. September's dark and gloomy sky remained dull and calm on that Friday. Samantha finished her work at the Waffle House, and after work she took her daughters, Desiree and Courtney, with her. Courtney occupied the back seat of the brand new blue Ford Tempo without knowing that she was enjoying her final ride. Desiree never expected that car ride to become a haunting memory for a lifetime. Samantha dropped off her elder daughter Desiree at her mother Debbie's place. She informed her that she would be dropping Courtney in Russellville before attending a concert in the city of Little Rock with her friend. Little Rock is located in Pulaski County, Arkansas, and was just an hour's ride from Russellville. Nobody knew what went down in the car after she left her mother's house for the longest time. It seemed like they vanished into thin air. Unfortunately, the absence of a license plate in Samantha's car added another burden to this case. It was never located. There were no clues or leads that aided in finding Samantha and her daughter. Her surviving daughter, Desiree Hopper, has spent decades trying to find out what happened to her mother, sister, and the unborn child. Desiree, Debbie, and Richard never lost hope that they would eventually find out what happened to them. They had also been fundraising to help Samantha and Courtney. Debbie was a loving mom doing her best one day at a time to take care of Desiree when Samantha went missing. The disappearance had left many open wounds and even more unanswered questions. Though Debbie did take good care of Desiree, her mother's space remained vacant in her life. She was longing for her mother's love and return. She did not walk out on her mother and tried every single possible way to reach her. Desiree had spent decades trying to find out what went wrong for her mother and sister, but to no avail. Everyone has experienced loss. I don't know anyone who hasn't, but for those who do not know what happened and cannot have closure, it's a huge pain. The pain finally led Desiree to seeking help from the famous nonprofit organization Adventures with Purpose, which aims to solve cold cases. AWP partnered with Chaos Divers and took Samantha's case. They made sure to heal their wounds and answer the unanswered questions of the family.
And so we're going to send him over to Pleasant Hill, Pleasant View area from here, because he's got a faster boat. And then Doug and I, we're going to jump in the water here and cover him up.
AWP. Years ago, AWP began as an environmental cleanup effort to remove as many vehicles as possible from water bodies in the Pacific Northwest. However, it swiftly evolved into a cold case search squad, assisting families around the country in locating missing loved ones. Families began to notice AWP's capacity to locate, float, and remove vehicles from the water, and soon enough their primary mission quickly changed. After solving 23 missing person cold cases, the two founders from Oregon, Jared Lysick and Doug Bishop, and their crew have discovered countless clues lying beneath the water's surface and have become a lifeline for families seeking answers. They are the faces behind Adventures with Purpose. Chaos Divers. Volunteers from Chaos Divers partnered with Adventures with Purpose in solving Samantha Hopper's case. Chaos Divers are another group similar to AWP that travels around the United States to help solve cold cases. Jacob Grubbs is the leading diver with Chaos Divers. They are a team that searches for vehicles to work on cold cases while also cleaning river systems of gas and oil from cars. Desiree hoped that the combination of AWP and Chaos Divers would not fail. The timeline. It was October 26, 2021. Around 9 a.m., Jacob Grubbs and his Chaos Divers team met up with AWP, Debbie and Desiree, and Samantha's best friend Selena. The team joined together and gathered more information about Samantha. Then, using the notes on Samantha's habits and the day's events, they tried to track down the car. Both dive teams split out to scan multiple places in the Lake Darnadelle area, with AWP taking the path down Mill Creek and sending Chaos Divers into the Illinois Bayou near Pleasant View Road. That was all based on hints about Samantha's habits and the events of that day in 1998. Divers scanned several parts of the lake. A discovery was made in the Illinois Bayou about an hour into the search. By 10 a.m., Jacob used sonar to locate a target under 8 feet of water near the West Pleasant View Road Bridge, which was almost immediately identified as a car.
That is a small car right there.
Doug dived down to match the submerged car with the missing one. Doug identified the blue Ford car and noted that it didn't have a license plate. Nevertheless, the car matched the notes that they were looking at and were fairly accurate as well. Jared and Jacob were able to attach a magnet to it and discovered that the car was 22 meters from the bank.
Hey, what's up?
So I see a small car.
Really?
On the Pleasantville.
Jared immediately called 911 at 12:15 p.m. to report their discovery. The Pope County Office of Emergency Management arrived to assist with removing the rotting car from the water. AWP and Chaos Divers remained on the scene to help with the car retrieval because Pope Count had a dive crew. In addition, Samantha's family and her friend were present when the car was lifted. The vehicle was hoisted onto the Pleasant View Road Bridge, confirming that human remains were inside. The human remains discovered inside the car were removed and sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab in Little Rock for DNA testing. The DNA samples were compared to those collected from Richard years ago at the request of Sheriff's Office Detective Eric Riggs, who was assigned to the cold case in 2013. And the remains showed an identification.
Everybody's had loss. I don't know anybody that's not lost somebody, but to just not know and to not be able to have that close.
Medical examiners have identified the remains found in the car, and authorities matched the description of one to a 23-year-old missing person case. In addition, deputies officially announced that the Arkansas Crime Lab positively identified the remains as those of Samantha and Courtney Hopper through DNA testing. The funds from Carpenter's fundraising campaign were now only used to pay for a suitable funeral for the unborn, Courtney, and Samantha, who did not have life insurance via her Waffle House work. Desiree Hopper has spent decades trying to find out what happened to her mother, sister, and the unborn, and her prayers were ultimately answered in an unexpected manner. While it was heartbreaking to watch the tears stream down their faces when they were informed of the news about the human remains, it was also extremely gratifying to see the smiles on their faces and the burden ease off of their shoulders as they realized they might be able to bring their loved ones home one last time. Desiree still tries to keep her mother and sister's memory alive on social media. The most saddening part of this case is that we still don't know what made the car crash into the water. It is also unclear if Hopper's death was caused by accident or foul play, but the expected finding of her car and remains could provide investigators with the break that they need. We give our heartfelt condolences to Samantha Hopper and Courtney Holt's families. Samantha and her 2 babies have now been brought home one last time. After more than 2 decades of searching for answers and clues, the family is finally gaining some closure. But unfortunately, there are no accurate words to convey how it feels to bring closure to a family that has been tortured for 23 years. So hug the people you care about, since you never know when you'll see them again.